morning, everyone. I am Sharon Cobbler, Child Care Business Development Specialist for MHC Partners for Children. Can y'all hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's my honor today to introduce today's panel moderator, someone who embodies the spirit of innovation and dedication to both business and community development here. Michael Scales is a proud Martinsville native who brings over 30 years of experience as the owner and operator of a successful family construction business. His practical knowledge of business operations gives him a unique perspective on the challenges and rewards of entrepreneurship. Currently, Michael serves as the business analyst for the Longwood Small Business Development Center in the Western region, where he works closely with business owners to help them achieve sustainable growth. He has played a key role in supporting one of the most important sectors here in our community, which is early childhood education. He assists business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs in establishing child care centers, which is a critical foundation for workforce development and family supports. As a workforce development instructor here at Patrick Henry Community College, Michaels has invested in training and mentoring future leaders. His work supports the larger goal of preparing our workforce to meet the needs of a rapidly changing economy, with childcare as a vital element within that equation. Today's panel brings together business leaders who have not only invested time and resources, but have also embraced out-of-the-box strategies to support childcare and workforce development within our early education industry. Michael's expertise in this area, combined with his dedication to building strong businesses, makes him the ideal moderator for this conversation. With his wealth of experience and passion for supporting innovative solutions in childcare and workforce development, Michael Scales is the perfect person to lead today's discussion. Please join me in welcoming Michael Scales to the stage.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I turned it off.
I turn it off? All right. Is that better?
Yes.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here this morning because I have a passion for this community. Okay? So I'm lifelong. Other than going to college, I've been here. When I grew up here, Martinsville was in its heyday. Plenty of jobs, opportunities. Every time you turn around, somebody's building a new house. I've also been here and watched the economic decline. Jobs, losing jobs, unemployment was going up. And so now we're going full circle where we're coming down, and I'm happy to be part of the economic revitalization of Martinsville and Henry County. And so a key component of this economic comeback is how can we collectively help address the challenges of our child care providers. So at Longwood University, my job is to help people start businesses, right? To let them know you gotta do the budget, you gotta do the cash flow, you gotta have a business plan, you have to do the marketing, okay? I also help people who are already in business grow. How do you expand without expanding too fast? So this brings me to my child care providers and in this area. So doing this, I have partners. I get a lot of referrals from United Way, as well as the Harvest Foundation support. I work with the Chamber of Commerce, as well as Patrick and Henry Community College for startup and growth programs. So this is how, and today, two of our panelists are my clients, and I have a few clients that are in the audience, so I'm proud of that. But the third component that you may not know, which is why my passion is here. I have a daughter that we back. My mother taught first grade for 39 and a half years in Henry County. My daughter wanted to be a teacher since first grade. Okay, So she used to put all of the dolls around the table and teach them. Okay? That daughter now, 10 years experience. She has a master's degree. She's taught at Fairfax County Schools, Chicago Public Schools, and then she's in Alexandria. So she's taught kindergarten. She's taught first grade. She didn't teach second grade, but she's got third grade. So that sweet spot you're talking about, kindergarten through third grade, that's it. Okay? So when I come to child care providers talk to me, this is how I understand some of these things. But the other component is I have a granddaughter that's 5 years old and just getting ready to go into kindergarten. So I feel that I hear this subject over and over daily. Okay? So people desire to come to become in child care business are often overwhelmed when they talk to me. Because I provide them 3 documents at least. The first document I'm applying to them is called the Entrepreneur's Guide, Business Planning Guide. That's our cookbook. That's a step-by-step of how you're supposed to start a business, a successful business, as well as to keep it going. The next book I will say hand to them is the SBA, and it's called How to Start a Quality Child Care Business. And it's a thicker book. And then I watched the faces. And then we have Virginia Department of Education. I got that too. This says the standards for licensed child care centers. And then at that point, I realized that I got to say something else. So I try to encourage it. This is a passion, but we need to talk about budgets. We have to talk about rent, insurance, human resource management, federal and state tax deposits, the recruitment of staff and children, and then some real life situations like what happens if you get that call at 6 o'clock in the morning from one of your teachers who cannot be there because they have a sick child. What are you going to do? Do you have a bench? Do you have substitutes who can come in so that you can stay in on ratio? Okay? And unlike K through 12 public schools, these are private businesses, and which means that they have a lot of challenges. Number one, you cannot raise the rates too high, as you talked about, because people cannot afford it. And although you have subsidy, which should help, but now we find out that we're maxed out, and there's a waiting list. Okay? That's one side. That's from the income side. From the operational side, it's difficult to maintain staff. These are minimum wage jobs, even though minimum wage went up, but they often are having benefits, and they can get more opportunities elsewhere. So that's the other challenge. And then the third challenge is, well, you're getting squeezed. You got a limit on the amount you can charge. You got costs that you can't cut down. And so you say, okay, from a business perspective, how do I do that? How do I make the most out of small margins? Well, one thing they cannot do is pack the students in, right? You can't put 30 infants in a room, right? You're limited by ratio. So that means that your maneuvering room, as the grades go up, more the maneuvering room is small. Can't pack them in, can't raise the rates too high. You got minimum cost. And so these are the challenges today that we have of our child care providers. So I'm happy to introduce our panelists for today. I have Ms. Christy Strader. She's the owner and director of Beaver Hills Early Learning Center. I have Ms. LaShonda Harris, the owner and director of Arms Wide Open Learning Center. I have Ms. Surreal Garcia Zuniga, okay? And I have Ms. Brandy Campbell. So I would first like to introduce Kamai. And we'll start a panel discussion. All right. So my First question to everyone. Would you please take a few minutes and introduce yourself? We're all nervous. Yeah, we're all nervous. We deal with local, we don't deal with it. Got big crowd.
So my name is Christy Strader, and I am the owner and director of Beaver Hills Early Learning Center in Martinsville. I was asked the question, why is childcare important to me? So childcare is a crucial business because it not only lays the foundation for a child's development, but it also fosters essential skills like social interaction, emotional regulation, and cognitive growth. High-quality childcare provides a safe environment where children can explore, learn, and develop a love for learning, setting the stage for their future success.
My name is LaShonda Harris. I am the owner and director of Arms Wide Open Learning Center in Martinsville, Virginia on Clearview Drive. And I too was asked the question, which is almost like my counterpart here, which I recognize childcare as being important to me. We are the seed planters. We're the first line outside of parents' homes or the child's homes that offer education and learned behavior, social, cognitive skills, again, outside of the home. We help mold young people to be respectful, well-mannered, and responsible young people. That's our desire.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sorella Garcia Zuniga. I am a mother of a 3-year-old who currently attends First Baptist Early Learning Center. I am also a working mother who works for United Way as a community health worker. It is very important for me to have childcare in place for my child as a working mother who works a 9 to 5 like most individuals do. I also think it is important for my child to not only be safe where he is, but to also be learning. That is why one of the most important things that I wanted for my child to have when he was in a center was to have that social ability to interact with other individuals as he grows and becomes a member of society.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brandy Canada. I am a mother of 2. One is 6 and one is 1, just turned 1. I currently have private child care due to some health issues with my 1-year-old and my 6-year-old. He's actually in Henry County Public Schools. I am a working mom. We have a working family. My husband also is full-time. I work for Henry County Public Schools. It's very important for us to have dependable child care and such. So yeah, it's a big need in our community.
All right, but that's us our panelists, and so I will start. So the first question today is going to go to our parents. So we're all here today because we recognize the challenges that we have for childcare. So from your perspective, why do you think providing childcare is so challenging from a parent's perspective?
I can say as a mother, the emotional drainage that can be involved in watching multiple children. Unless you are actively around children, the majority of your day, you do not realize how it can drain your social battery. It gets to a point where you do not want to ask, what am I having for dinner tonight? That is just too much to ask. And any mother can agree with me. It's just too much to ask. But as providers who are up as early as 4 or 5 in the morning to get ready for a 12-hour day, I think it is important for us to take accountability that these are human beings too. And there's a lot of strain that gets put on individuals. So I think that could play a huge role on why childcare can be so challenging for people. It is a burden, an emotional burden for human beings.
I agree completely with that. It is, I mean, as a mom, like you said, it's very hard to juggle multiple kids. I mean, I see that even with my 6-year-old, even though he's a big help with my 1-year-old. But I totally agree with that. And also just finding a lot of local spots close to you. A lot of people live in way different areas. So it's the travel, it's everything else in order to get there. And then just having qualified workers, people that can handle, the kids and be able to deal with that. A lot of times, a lot of them are kids themselves, so it's hard for them. And I understand that as a mom because I can't even imagine my older nieces or any of them being able to take care of my wild children. So it's a lot on them. So kudos to those.
I'm gonna follow up with you two again. So it can be, well, childcare is expensive. We've heard you now, we've seen the information. So how has it affected your monthly budget? So give us the impact of having the children have quality childcare.
Yes, and that's a heavy impact, especially on me personally. You know, in years past, you know, when my son was first born, it hindered us from getting a mortgage at one point to be able to dive into that, because it was either you either pay for childcare and continue to work, or you're able to go and get a new house. So renting was our option for many years. So yeah, that's a big struggle.
I was actually in the same boat as her. I was renting for years prior to this. At first, I was just hesitant on the quality of childcare. I was not familiar with it. So as a mother of an infant, when my child was first born, I selected more of a family relative that would take care of them. But I then realized my child needed social interaction, so I knew that I had to put him in school. I did end up paying out of my own pocket for the first couple of months, and then I was educated on the child subsidy program, which at that point, going down from $125 a week for my child every single week, whether they went all 5 days or not. That's another important thing. They don't charge you per day, they charge you per week, depending on the place. So going from that high number to being able to afford childcare and afford a home for my child to grow up in, I think was the biggest help for me as far as budgeting. I have nothing negative to say about the subsidy program. If anything, it has helped me tremendously to be able to purchase a home on my own for my child. So.
Thank you. Okay. So now we go to our child care providers, and so I will start with you from a business owner. Okay. All the things I mentioned, what have they provided child care so difficult?
I would say for me, the difficulty is staffing, trying to find that perfect person to interact with the children, someone that is on one accord as I am with the growth of my daycare, someone that has a love and a passion for kids, because it is a hard job, and it's hard to keep staff, you know, how to keep them motivated and wanting to come to work every day and deal with children that's, you know, could be kind of a handful and things of that nature. But to me, that's the most difficult part. The children, to me, they're not difficult. You know, they're children. They have to learn. I love it. It's not, to me, it's not the children, it's the staffing. And then working with the parents that are paying out of pocket to be able to come down kind of to their level to where they can afford childcare, and parents that have multiple children to do like a sliding scale. You know, I've had some parents, you know, I'm new to this, you know, I just come up on a year last month and new to the subsidy program, and you know, how to do the attendance and track the attendance and things of that nature. And I actually had a child that had exceeded their attendance, and I did not know that. And so I could not go to that parent and say, hey, you have to pay me for a week because, you know, subsidy, you ran out of your time, and, you know, I couldn't find it in my heart to do that. So I had to eat that, which was fine because I knew that I was providing a service for their child and for their parent. But so to me, the most difficulty is finding reliable and good staffing.
So I'm going to follow up with what she said. So Beaver Hills just opened their doors on Monday. It's been about a 2-month process for renovating the building that was built in 1980 and was previously run as Beaver Hills. I kind of wanted to keep up with the past there, but the biggest struggle that I have found as a new business owner was the high operating cost. Everything that I built, aside from United Way helping me out, has been completely out of mine and my husband's savings. I completely drained it because childcare is my passion. It's the only thing that I know for the past 15 to 18 years. It's all I've ever done. Little people are my jam. I love them. So I have been in the classroom before. I fulfilled an administrative role, but I feel as if I am a good leader, and that is where I thrive. And so high operating costs, the cost of running a child care center are substantial. This includes paying for qualified staff, maintaining safe and enriching environments, covering insurances, utilities, and supplies. But with families in need of subsidy being placed on a wait list, it's become increasingly difficult to offer affordable childcare for the parents in Martinsville, Henry County especially. The rising expenses, the overhead, coupled with the need to maintain competitive wages for quality staff, they have presented the biggest financial struggle for me. And again, staffing, hiring and retaining those qualified staff, finding compassionate caregivers, that's crucial to me. But the field is often underpaid and undervalued. There's a high turnover rate in this field, and so in order to be able to eliminate that, you try to pay them over minimum wage, but you also have to factor in, I'm serving, I have more infant care and toddlers than I do have preschool, because let's face it, I can't compete with free.
That's right.
But the biggest thing there is a need of infant care. And that ratio, unfortunately, is a 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. So you barely make any money off of that. And that's really hard to be able to sacrifice of paying someone. At our center, I require their early childhood credentials or an associate's degree. How can I expect them to just make $12 an hour? That's not feasible, and I think that's just a disgrace for them to make that as much effort as they put into their position. So trying to juggle that and not being able to receive those subsidy dollars, that's hard. So I really wish that they could lift that a little bit and help us businesses be able to provide the quality care that they deserve.
Okay, thank you. One to mention, and so we've heard about the waiting list. The waiting list, again, for subsidy, but you also have a waiting list for spots. And so to give you another dimension, now I'm doing a little insider information, so I know there are waiting lists. I have a nephew that the baby is expected to be born in 2 weeks. So I got him to already get on the wait list. Right? Because the wait list is long. And so the baby hasn't got here, but he's on the wait list. All right. So true story. All right, the last person is going to each one of you. From your perspective, what is the most important takeaway that you wish our audience to understand the challenges that you're going through?
So as you leave the summit today, this has already been said, and I even see it on a pamphlet because it's so very true. Consider this: the first 5 years of a child's life are critical for their development, and the quality of care that they receive during this time can have a lifelong impact. Supporting and investing in high-quality child care businesses such as mine and ours, and anyone else in Henry County, is not just about helping parents, but it's about shaping the future of our communities one child at a time.
I would like for you to know the importance, as we all know, the upbringing of our young people. As it starts when they're young. So we have to be that provider for them that's going to be able to instill respect, mannerism, behaviors, and social skills to be able to grow up to be responsible, caring citizens. I stole that from Boys and Girls Club because that's where I'm originally from. So I still have to rep my Boys and Girls Club. But just to know that, we all have a love and desire to see children grow and be the best person, the people they can be. So, we do need those subsidy dollars to be able to expand. As Mr. Scales mentioned, the wait list. I have a capacity right now, my building can hold up to 50 children. I have 32 enrolled, but I have a wait list of 62 children. And my administrator, we just went down that list. We try to, update it every month to month and a half, to see who's still needing child care. Because, with my mind being OCD, I just cannot stand to see that list being so long. So, we have to update that list. Hey, we're calling to see, do you still need child care? Just let us know. We'll keep your name on our wait list, or we can remove from the wait list. So I can actually work off of those 62 kids that still need child care for over a year to a year and a half. So, and I am a religious exempt child care. So We have a 501(c) organization through my church that is the overseer of my child care. And, I talked to my pastor, and we're thinking about maybe opening up some of our Sunday school classrooms in our church to be able to expand my daycare, because I want to be of service to the community. I think that's my passion, is to be of service. So, and the greatest need is toddler twos. I could just open up a facility just for 2-year-olds. It is unreal how big the wait list is for 2-year-olds. So to be able to maybe expand the facility that I'm in now, I can do that if I have the subsidy dollars to make sure the ratio is good. I can hire extra staff to be in the classroom to make sure that we are in ratio. So I just want everyone to just understand that there is a need for expansion, pretty much.
I think childcare essentially comes down to a domino effect. If it affects one person, it's going to affect somebody else in the long run. I think today, just the fact that legislation has become aware of how important childcare is, not just for business purposes, but as parents or guardians, I don't want to just put it on parents, but guardians as well, who are in charge of taking care of these children, making sure that they're being raised in an enriched environment, social skills are met, the education is met. You have to check all those marks, but you also want to make sure that the people are taken care of, who are taking care of your children. You don't want somebody burnt out watching your child. It's horrible. You also want to make sure that they are meeting their ends. They are humans too. A lot of them are parents who are working for child care centers. So I compassion with them as far as the need to supply for your own family. Make sure you're also active for your family as well. So I think my takeaway from today, and I want all of you all to take away, is the fact that after all, childcare does affect us all in one way, shape, or form.
I definitely agree with that. It definitely does. I mean, whether it be you have to miss out on work for a day to be able to take care of your kid that's sick or anything. I mean, childcare is so important in so many ways, and being able to lift that financial burden from some families that may have to decide, well, I'm paying childcare for this week versus getting extra on this in grocery bills or anything, having to choose in your budget whether or not you want that good quality care, and you shouldn't have to choose that. So having the opportunity to eliminate that is incredible for our community, and I think that is a wonderful need. So having these subsidy programs is wonderful, and hopefully the wait list issue will be resolved and all these kids will get the learning time that they need and get them really set up for success.